Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ. Blessed. This is IUIC London, Cuts from the Streets. And we're out here today in Brixton to talk to the people regarding Bonfire Night or Guy Fawkes Night. We came to speak to find out what the people really know about it. You know, because a lot of our people celebrate it. When I was even traveling here, you heard firework here, you heard firework there. But do they really know why they're celebrating this thing? What is it really about?
Yes, indeed. You know, also we're going to be delving into the scriptures to show them what the Most High actually said to his people. Are they meant to be glorifying in such a day? Is it something that we're meant to be celebrating? Or are there even any other feast days around that time or looking forward to that time? You know what I'm saying? Of a feast day that the Most High said that we should definitely celebrate. So Guy Fawkes Night, Bonfire Night, we're going to find out from the people. Is it biblical? Officer.
So yeah, we're going to be taking a look at some of the main figures that were involved in the night as well, namely King James, and we're going to be bringing out a bit of history about that man as well. Back to you, officer.
So Israel, stay tuned. IUIC London, Cuts from the Streets.
Shalom, 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 Israel. This is Cut from the Streets, Bonfire Edition. We're out here in Brixton, all right? My name is Asha, and I'm here with...
Saray.
Saray. All praises, all praises. So, Sister Saray, if you don't mind me saying, right? So, what is actually happening tonight?
Well, it's Bonfire Night in the UK, which, should I go for the origin? Today we celebrate Guy Fawkes and how he conquered the government, setting fire to Parliament itself. Was it Parliament? Am I right? Yes, yeah. But was it? Well, he tried to, and it failed. But yeah, and did he end up killing himself? Did he?
Well, I want to know what it is you know about him first.
Last time I studied him, it was like when I was in like year 4.
Shalom Israel. Today's topic is Bonfire Night. So today I'm with Mikey. So Mikey, you know the topic. What do you know about Bonfire Night, or also known as Guy Fawkes Night? What do you know about it?
Well, I knew that there's some guys, they went to overthrow Parliament and blow up the Parliament because they didn't want no more states, head of states kind of thing. They wanted to, I don't know if they wanted their particular party to rule the country or something like that, but they were dealing with death in it, you know what I'm saying? I mean, this is something really and truly what people shouldn't really be celebrating, because anything what's to do with taking people's lives, good or bad, no one's a judge out here, you know what I'm saying? You've got to leave that to the Most High, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's gone down tradition, years and years afterwards, like people celebrating it. I mean, they're celebrating something what they don't even really know about, you know what I'm saying? So, what's the point of it? I mean, really. And I mean, Bonfire Night is one of the most dangerous nights of the year. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is an excuse for people to go out and kill them one another, you know what I'm saying? Yeah? I mean, and this is where people's houses get burnt down. I mean, I've known situations like that, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, like the police couldn't really do nothing because we're Bonfire Night and everyone's lighting things and burning places down and that, you know what I mean? They just didn't really look into it and that, you know? So, and I said, you know, it's a thing where I've never really celebrated it because I know it's not right, you know what I mean? Because I know it's about this country, yeah, and America. Anything, right, was just bad. They want to give it grace, you know what I'm saying? They're talking about the Ronnie and Reggie and things like that. I mean, they were killers at the end of the day, and they were homosexuals, you know what I'm saying? So why would somebody really want to celebrate it? But if people knew the history and he was swinging for the other side, they wouldn't glamatize it and that. And then, because you got a whole era of people, you know, celebrating these guys who used to go around terrorizing and extorting people and that, you know?
So today is November the 5th, yeah? And it's also known as...
Guy Fawkes Night?
Yes, Guy Fawkes Night. So, do you know any history about Guy Fawkes?
He invented gunpowder and he was a really bad man.
Okay, and why was he bad? What was bad about him?
He was just, he was just a bad guy. I don't really know why, but he was a bad guy.
Okay, so is that what you learned in school?
No, this is something I know.
Just know that he's a bad guy?
I know my history, yes.
Okay. So, what other names do they have for today?
What do you mean?
So you said it was called Guy Fawkes Day, right?
Yeah.
So what other names is today called? What other names does it go by?
I'm not actually sure. I feel like I should know, but I don't know.
Yeah, you should know, but it's not something that you have to know.
See, this is why you're here, to educate.
Exactly.
So, Sonia, what do you know about Guy Fawkes Night? What do you know about this day?
Well, I heard he tried to blow up. Is it Darling Street? I'm not sure, but Parliament, right? That's it.
So that's all you know?
I'm not sure if he's in. That's it. Yeah. Not. I don't know much about the bonfire. I swear.
You know the reasoning behind him wanting to blow up Parliament at all?
Not really. Not really. No.
So, is Guy Fawkes Night, is it something you celebrate? Have you ever gone out to see the fireworks with your children, or
Not really. No. No.
is it something you allow your children to do? Do they go out and see the fireworks?
Go out. Yeah, they do. They do.
So, because this is a lot of things that we follow and celebrate today. Guy Fawkes being one of those things. A lot of our people do it. You said you haven't done it, but you know that, like you said, the children, they'll go and see the fireworks. But we, as a people, don't know or educate ourselves the reasonings behind these things. Why do you think that's the case?
I mean, like, well, I guess I think with just about knowing certain things, with eyes just opening in, with just about opening and realizing certain things and seeing the light more and more. Okay. Right, with just about.
So today we're talking about Bonfire Night. Do you celebrate it?
Not really, to be honest with you. When I was a little boy, when I was a young boy, yeah.
Okay, so when you were younger, you celebrated it. Yeah. And do you know anything about it, the history behind it?
I can say that he tried to blow up the House of Parliament, and that's what I know.
So you know someone tried to blow up the House of Parliament, but you used to celebrate it when you were younger. And what did you used to do to celebrate it?
Go to the common, watch the fireworks, put something on the, there'll be Guy Fawkes, you throw things on the fire, bonfire, and that's about it.
And the reason why is because it's actually in 1605, there was a plot by the Catholic Church to attempt to blow up the Parliament, the Houses of Parliament, where King James was at that time.
Okay. Wow, I did not know that. No, I didn't.
Okay.
See, this is what they need to teach us in history lessons, not fucking, sorry, I didn't mean to swear, not about TPs and all that stuff,
They need to teach us the truth about the history.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, regarding that, have you seen a movie called V for Vendetta?
Is that on Netflix?
It is on Netflix. Yeah.
I've seen that, and you know what? It crossed my mind to watch it, but now I'm going to watch it. I haven't seen it, no.
Okay. So it gives you a little bit of the history behind it. It's a bit of a weird movie, but it shows you a little bit about what kind of was happening at that time and the plot to assassinate the king at that time. So, yeah, no, that's all right. That's all right. It's expected where we are.
The king at the time, King James. What color do you think King James was?
He's white.
He's white, yeah?
Yeah.
We're gonna try and find out about that. We're gonna try and find out about that. All right, don't worry. Don't worry. We got you, sis. All right. So the king at the time was King James. All right, and King James was of the Church of England at the time. So you have two different factions. You got the Catholic Church and the Church of England,
Which is like Protestants and everything. Yeah.
Right. So now you have a situation where they're trying to regain power. The Catholic Church was trying to regain power, and this Guy Fawkes was the guy to try and help him do so by wresting power from King James, all right, who had the Church of England to himself, all right. So now, what happened was they foiled the plot. It didn't actually get to happen. They saw all of his plans to try and blow up the House of Parliament.
Yeah, nothing blew up. It failed, like as in like they didn't blow up. He couldn't set them on fire.
Basically, they discovered the plans, and that plan got ruined, so it never really happened. All right. So now the question now is, why are we celebrating? Why are people celebrating?
See, the UK is a twisted place. It's just there's stuff we shouldn't be really celebrating, such as like Black Friday, for its racial background. This is another thing that is just absurd in my opinion, because of first of all, it's celebrating the explosion. What could have possibly killed hundreds who were in the parliament at the time. Also, it could have possibly. It's just immoral in every way. I don't know why we celebrate it, and the message behind it has become a bit mixed. It's come to look like beautiful fire in the sky, less than someone trying to plot to kill hundreds. If this was modern, if it was in the modern times, and someone tried to plot something against Parliament, they would be sentenced to death. Everything, like, it wouldn't be we wouldn't be celebrating it in a way. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Can you think of any other holidays that you celebrate, which you used to celebrate but you never really kind of knew about?
I would say more the obvious ones. So obviously Easter, Christmas. Trying to think of it. Yeah, them are the main two that springs to my mind. So
To add to what you said, you had this man called Guy Fawkes. The reason why it's named after Guy Fawkes is because that person was the person that was actually caught in the act of trying to blow up Parliament. Like, he was not the head man in charge. There was a guy called Robert, who was actually the head man in charge at the time, and there was a big conflict between the Catholic Church, which Guy Fawkes was a part of, and the Queen, the Church of England. There was a conflict going on. Okay, on one side of the Church of England, you had Elizabeth, and then you had King James, and then on the other side, you had this Robert dude. You had Guy Fawkes, okay, which were on the Catholic side. So now you had this Robert guy who actually came up with the plot to blow up Parliament and actually kill King James, who was the king at the time. That was the whole plot. You know what I'm saying? So what do you actually know about King James?
He was the one that rewrite the Bible.
Okay, rewrite the Bible.
That's it. I don't know.
So let me ask you this, because you're saying a lot and some good information is coming out right now. Why is it then, because you're saying a lot of things that are negative, America and over here in Europe, they follow and celebrate and partake in things that have evil origins. Why is it? Why is that the case? Especially our people.
Do you know what it is? I think it's a plan to tell you the truth, you know what I mean, to brainwash them, you know what I mean, because in order for them to do bad, you know what I'm saying, I mean, look, good is bad now and bad is good, you know what I'm saying? So it's a thing like, you know, once you inbreed that in someone all the time, you look in the television, all you see is violence. I mean, I call it television because they just tell you pure lies. They don't teach you nothing fundamental. It's going to like teach you something where you're going to like have structure to your family and that. I mean, when you look at it, I mean, it's like dysfunctional, you know? I mean, the families are dysfunctional, and then if you watch so much of that, after a while, it's a thing where they call it, my brother says, it's you're programmed, you know what I'm saying, like predictive images, you know what I'm saying. Seeing enough of that, after a while, if you might not agree with it at first, but see, after a while, you're going to sit down and it's going to become like a normal thing, you know what I'm saying. And then after a while, like, you're going to actually gratify that thing like it's a good thing, you know what I'm saying, just down to the fact you're seeing the images in your head and that, you know.
Facts out, all right? Let's get some facts out. So now I asked you the question, I said, King James, what color was King James? You said he's white. And then I was like, you're like, hold on a minute, could he be something else other than white? We got the facts. We've got a book here, all right, that we're going to read for you. Can I get a reader, please? Any reader? All right, so we're going to try and open up this book here. All right, so can you tell me what the name of the book is?
The name of the book is The NEGRO Question Part 4, The Missing Link.
So the NEGRO Question Part 4, all right? So we got my brother over here is going to try and read it for us. The very first page, actually. Apart from that. So we got over here somewhere. If you open up, I think it's more. There we go. Right there. Thank you. So now, the NEGRO Question, and it says what? Part 4. Okay? It's called The Missing Link. It's by who?
Lee Cummings.
Lee Cummings. All right. So we're going to try and find out about who King James was. All right? Was he a white man? Okay, read that.
From the highlighted part?
Yes, sir.
King James came from a long line of black Scottish Stuart kings.
Hold on a minute. King James came from what line?
A long line of black Scottish Stuart kings.
So King James, if he came from a long line of black Scottish Stuart kings, what would make King James?
Black. Yeah.
So-called black, right? All right, have we got any more on that? Read on.
343 years of rulership in Scotland.
343 years of rulership in Scotland. That's not like 1 year, 2 years. That's a long time. All right, read.
The Stuarts not only ruled in Scotland, they ruled in France.
So they not only just ruled in Scotland, they ruled in France. You paying attention, Sister Soraya?
Spain.
Spain as well. So black people ruled Scotland so far. Spain, France,
Ireland.
Ireland as well.
And England.
And England, the country that we're in, that Guy Fawkes, Bonfire night has been celebrated in. All right? The same King James that they tried to kill, all right, in this country, read.
/ Britain / Wales. King James was able to rule all of these lands because of all these people were of Iberian black descent.
Iberian black descent. So the people that once dominated these countries, France, Spain, England, Scotland, Ireland, were black people, all right?
He didn't really rewrite the Bible. All King James did was authorize a translation. So that's why you got the King James Version Bible today. And, you got the KJV, the NIN, the new KJV as well. But all King James did was authorize a translation of the Bible so that we can understand it today in the English language. That's all he did. What do you know about King James? What do you know about him?
King James, I heard, that King James, is he the one who translated the Old Testament into the New Testament?
No, he didn't translate the Old Testament into he translated the Old and New and the Apocrypha from Hebrew and Greek to the English language. Okay. Yeah, so he translated. So let me get that. We got the Bible dictionary. Say again?
Wasn't he a black man?
Well, that's an interesting point. That's an interesting point. We're gonna.
Oh, he's a black man. That's what I looked up. I looked it up and that. You know what I mean? And like, some people, I think he was a black man. They were saying. Yeah, they were saying that he's a black man, King James. Yeah, and the monarchy before that, because remember, there wasn't no racism or anything like that. There wasn't no racism or anything like that. You see, there used a lot of people come from Africa and all different countries, yeah, and they used to go to the monarchy and do business with the Queen and do business with England and that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of Africans were coming over here like normal. They had counts, you had kings, you had scholars. Everything what they see out here. Like when they talk about the Greeks and the numbers and that. That was in Africa for a long time, mate.
So wait, let's look at this. Look at this, because you said that King James was black. You went and you did some research and you found out that King James was black. And remember, he was the King of England. Prior to that, the King of Scotland. So if we're saying that King James was black, you're saying that black men were ruling Europe at once upon a time.
Yes, there was. They held a lot of the places and that. Even some of the names of the roads and that we've got now are still named by them. I don't know if it was. I think could they say the Moors came over here? Yeah.
Okay, let's hold that. We're gonna go right into that. But first, let's address the translation that King James did. Right.
Okay, so this is the Compact Bible Dictionary, the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Page 86 is King James Version. When Elizabeth died in 1603, the crown passed to James I, who had been King of Scotland for 37 years as James VI. Several months after he ascended the throne of England, he authorized a new translation of the Bible to replace the Bishop's Bible.
That's in 1603. And then guess what? Today, 2 years later is when they did that plot to blow up the Parliament and kill King James. Go ahead.
So the second paragraph, 47 of the best.
So now it's going into how the translation came about.
47 of the best Hebrew and Greek scholars of the day were divided into 6 groups: 3 for the Old Testament, 2 for the New, and 1 for the Apocrypha. 2 of the groups met at Oxford, 2 at Cambridge, and 2 at Westminster. When a group had completed its task, its work was submitted to 12 men, 2 from each panel. Final differences of opinions were settled at a general meeting of each company. In cases of special difficulty, learned men outside of the board, reviewers were consulted. Managerial notes were used only to explain Hebrew and Greek words to draw attention to parallel passages. Italics were used for words not found in the original but necessary to complete the sense.
Right, we're going to read on, but hold that. So, just to summarize, it said 47 of the Greek and Hebrew scholars at the day, King James gathered to translate the Bible into the English that we read today. Do you understand? So we got a sector for the New Testament, a sector for the Old Testament, and a sector for the Apocrypha. Have you ever heard of the Apocrypha?
No, is that the normal people? Is that the common people?
No, that's part of the Bible. But that's something was taken out. So in the modern day King James version, the Apocrypha is not in there. Why do you think? Because it has some key history in there that people don't want us to read. But let's continue. So let's see when this Bible was completed in the next paragraph right here.
Okay. The revisers who received no financial remuneration of their work for their work completed their task in 2 years, and 9 more months were devoted to a revision of their work by a special committee consulting of 2 members from each group. In 1611, the new version was published.
So it took about 8 years to complete the translation of this Bible. So that's a key thing in history that we know about what King James did. But within that time period of the translation, you had Guy Fawkes who got caught. That's why the day is named after him, because he was the main guy that got caught with the explosives, right? Tried to blow up the parliament to actually kill King James.
I don't know a bigger word. I don't know a word for this. I'm the word flabbergasted.
Flabbergasted, that's the word. Yes, indeed. All right.
That was very. It shifts the motive now. It makes it seem as if it was racially motivated in a way. I don't know.
You definitely have a point there, because Catholic Church, that's Roman. It's Roman in nature. But Church of England were black people. These were King James and his. We read it there. The stewardship of King James, his family. They were black people.
Yeah, man. That's actually made me speechless. If I knew what I found out today, I would see it from a whole different perspective. When I was younger, I thought it was all good, having fun. Then I found out the actual origins of it. Then it became, that's a bit iffy. And then now, hearing that he was a black man, or of black descent even, is crazy. It just shifts the point of view.
Heard of the Dark Ages or the Middle Ages?
Dark Ages, of course, but yes, I do hear about the Dark Ages.
So during the Dark Ages, do you know anything about it at all?
I'd have to go back and read. I don't remember, but Dark Age can never be good.
Okay. So you hear about the Dark Ages. During these Dark Ages, that's the time when they were fighting with swords, spears, and they had these men called knights. The reason why they were called knights, do you know the reason why they were called knights?
Not really.
You had that. There's a movie with Martin Lawrence, and the movie was called Knight. Why do you think it was called Knight based upon that?
I'm not sure.
Because the men were dark. That's why, because they were dark, like night, right? So then you have, during those time periods, leading up to the 1600s, when King James became king of England. Prior to that, he was the king of Scotland. After Elizabeth died in 1603, he became the king of England. All right, and then in 1603 is also when he started the authorization of the translation of the Bible. And 1605, going back in November 1605, on this very day, is when It was the time period of the plot to actually kill King James and blow up the Parliament during his time of trying to translate the Bible. So now, what's the point? What is the point of this? What we're trying to really show you? That once upon a time, England history, black people were ruling Europe.
Right. Yeah, I just get that. Yeah.
Did you ever know anything about that?
Well, you know what? Whatever I read, I do have an idea that we were, of course, black people were here first. I do have an idea, but not much.
So, questions. Do you believe in the Bible at all?
I've read it. I believe there's someone up there. I'm not sure who, but I believe there's someone up there.
Okay, so the reason why I ask is because in 1605, there was a plot to assassinate King James. Have you heard of him before?
It rings a bell, yes.
But you're not really too sure.
It's a bit blank at the moment.
Oh man, so did you go to church when you were younger?
My mum made me go to church every single Sunday. She'd be like, get out of bed now. I'm like, oh no, but yeah.
Okay, so I'm ashamed to say, but your church done you a disservice, and also your school done a terrible job of educating you in history.
All schools do about history, especially black history. Come on.
Exactly, but don't worry, we are here to show you the truth about today and a little bit about the black history that is actually in the Bible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I don't know. Can I get a yeah? Come. So first of all, I want to get First Maccabees, chapter 3, just to show you a little something that happened in times past, which is why we don't know much about the Bible now.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 3, verse 48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen has sought to paint the likeness of their images.
So what you'll find is, in some Bibles, you'll find images, but those pictures that you find have been iconoclast or have been whitewashed.
Oh, definitely. For sure.
One more time?
Everything's just been false in history. They literally cover up the most important stuff. Black culture is covered up. You know, we know nothing about our past, and that's what we need to discover, and that's why you guys are here.
So we're going to show you just a little bit about our black history in the Bible. So 1605 is when Guy Fawkes Night or Bonfire Night was first established. But remember, it was a plot to assassinate King James. We're going to read a little bit about him now.
Yeah.
This is the Negro Question, Part 4, The Missing Link, by Lee Cummins. King James came from a long line of black Scottish Stuart kings.
Wait a minute. Say that one more time.
King James came from a long line of black Scottish Stuart kings.
So, what do you think about that information there, sis?
I think it's wonderful. You know, not many people know that. They really don't. And the fact that they're shocked to hear, oh, really? You come from that background, you know? It's just not expected.
We've got some key history to go with the points that you were making regarding King James actually being back. So, what are we reading from?
The Negro rulers of Scotland and the British Isles.
Right, so we're going to find out what this book reveals unto us regarding King James.
We're going to go to page 81. So it says the Episcopalian Moorish King James.
So do you know what Moor means?
Moors.
You know what the word Moor means?
Moors, I don't as it goes, no.
It means black. Moor means black. So when you ever hear about, oh yeah, the Moors ruled over Europe, it's talking about black people. Moors in Spain, it's black. More simply just means black.
Isaiah 29, verse 13. All right, because our people, Sister Soraya, pay attention, right? Because what our people don't do is they like to be persuaded into doing things that they're not even really fully aware of. All right, and when it comes to God, it's something that they need to fully understand. They need to fully understand that the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that we serve is one that wants something done in a particular way, and idolatry is not one of those things that he wants done. Definitely not. We're meant to be staying away from that. All right, read Isaiah 29, verse 13.
Isaiah chapter 29, verse 13. Wherefore, the Lord said, for as much as this people draw near me with their mouth, and with their lips do honor me, but have removed their heart far from me, and their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men.
So now God is saying that the fear of his people is taught by the precept of men. Bonfire now is glorified. It makes it even sound like it's a religious thing. Because you think about it, it's two different church factions. You got the Church of England, which is King James behind that. Then you got the Roman Catholic Church, which is where this Guy Fawkes guy, was, he has this allegiance with. So God is saying, stay away from that thing. That's something that man have created.
So us reading this, understanding that King James was actually a black man, is actually a black man, what hatred do you think is being shown?
The fact that he's black and he's from Scottish, not you expect the typical Scottish person to be ginger, blue eyes, all that. And it's like, that's just kind of stereotype that people expect nowadays, If you're like from England, you should be white or whatever. No, that's not the case. It really isn't.
So I want to touch on that historical aspect, yeah? So King James, King of Scotland, King of England, was a...
Yeah, he was a black guy, living in England, born in England, Scottish. What's there else to say?
Okay, so can you confirm who was ruling the Europe at that time?
King James?
Okay, and what nation or what nationality or what complexion was he?
He was black and he was Scottish.
Interesting. So it sounds like the Dark Ages were literally when...
The Dark Ages. When King James was ruling. Black people all around the world, not just Scotland, everywhere.
So black people ruled the world at one time, but they've hidden that history from us.
It all gets hidden. It really does. They try and cover it all up. They literally, in your history books, what they tell you is fake. It's been covered up or there's some sort of lie behind it. So don't always believe what you see in history books. Do the research for yourself.
This is the book, The Negro Rulers of Scotland and the British Isles by Dr. John L. Johnson.
So did you know, do you know what more means? All right, so this book is going to define what more means. What's this book called?
This is Nature Knows No Color Line by J.A. Rogers.
The highlight part, right? What page are you on?
Page 72. More, the race, as it occurs in European heraldry, always means Negro. Moor's head, says Berry, is the heraldic term for the head of a black or Negro man.
So when it says the Moorish king, it's saying these black kings. So let's go back.
The Negro Rulers of King of Scotland, the British Isles, page 81. The Episcopalian Moorish King James VI Stuart was the son of Henry and Mary Stuart, whose bloodline stretched all the way back to the Pictish Scottish King Kenneth the Neger.
So Kenneth the Neger. Do you know what Neger means? Yeah. What does nigger mean? What is nigger, Negro?
Black.
So the King Kenneth was black. These are all talking about European kings. Do you understand? This is European kings. Kings of Scotland, kings of England. Do you understand? So this book is revealing that black people are ruling in Europe. Do you understand? Continue.
He became King of Scotland in AD 1567 to 1625, following the death of his mother Mary of Scots, and was chosen by his cousin Elizabeth of England to succeed her. This coloured king was the first to unite the British Isles and Scotland, which then became Great Britain.
So based upon what we was bringing up, why do you think the author of this book referred to him as a coloured king? What does that mean?
A coloured king. You mean I lose.
Why do you think he said this coloured king?
The coloured. Why do I go again?
Why do you think the author of this book referred to him as coloured king? discolored king. Why?
Because there was a black king ruling England.
That's right, because if you look in history of the names or nationalities they given us in history, they've always changed it. We've gone from nigger, negro, colored, black British, black American, black Afro, black Afro-American. Do you understand? Our names have continuous change. So this is the reason why they call discolored king, because King James was a black man. His father's black. So there's a long list of black kings, queens that ruled over Europe. But today in society, the history that we get shown in the movies, in pictures, why? Why is that?
Of course. Oh dear, I won't answer that one. Well, obviously they took everything from black people.
Why do you think that they would just change all the colours of every single historical black person that was empowerment to a white person?
Of course, they put us at. Of course, they put all black at the back. I don't even know to answer that one.
That's a good one. They want to put black at the back. So everything that's good is white. Everything that's wrong, black. Because even if you look at black terms, right? Black terms, you got black male, black hole. What else? What else you got? Because these are negative terms and they all got black. What else they got? You know, you blackboard. You got even like if you look at white chocolate and dark chocolate, most people like white chocolate. It tastes nicer. Black market. That's the underworld for
Friday. What is it? Black. Is it black? Coming up in this month. Is it Black Friday? Yeah, Black Friday.
Black Friday. Right. So all these things, they put negative terms behind black, positive terms behind them, so it's a psychological warfare on the minds of our people. Do you understand? So even when we look at them, we see positive. We see, yeah, they're Jesus. They're. What's changing? What's changing?
People's eyes are opening to see the truth.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee.
So it says here that we would discontinue from our heritage. So we don't know who we are in the Bible anymore. We didn't know who ruled the world really. We didn't know who even translated the Bible for us to be able to read it today. So the Bible is saying that we would discontinue from our true heritage. But why?
And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever.
So we've been taken away from our heritage, and we would serve a nation that dislikes us. All right? Wait, say that one more time.
Welcome to Britain, my friend.
This is the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 3 and verse 48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images.
So this is the book of the Lord, right? It said the heathen sought to paint the likeness of their images. Meaning what? We had images in this Bible, and he even wanted to paint them to look like them. So the heathen during this time was the Greeks, the white people. And they wanted to go into the book and paint the dark images white. So that's the same thing they did with our history to this day. All of the kings of Europe, all of the black kings of Europe, Henry VIII, all these men, black men, they went through our history and did what? Whitewashed them.
Sorry to cut you. Was Henry VIII black as well?
He was black. You see how deep it goes?
I know you got, what's her name, Princess Charlotte. Yeah, and she's still in the, her portrait is still hanging in the Buckingham Palace even now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I could see that the Queen's black, just by the freezing.
And if you look at a lot of images in Russia, a lot of images in Netherlands. If you look at the high buildings in Netherlands, you're going to see dark images, a lot of black images on the walls.
Now the thing is, what commandment of God do we have to keep in terms of looking forward to that commandment of God that God gave us to celebrate? Go to John 10:22. So there is one particular commandment that God gave us in terms of celebration, what we can celebrate, what we can look forward to. All right? I'm going to give you that name of the feast. All right? Read that.
The book of John, chapter 10, verse 22. And it was at Jerusalem, the feast of dedication.
It was at Jerusalem, the feast of dedication. Read.
And it was winter. And Jesus walked up into the temple in Solomon's porch.
Right. So Christ himself, you know Christ, right? Was Christ a white man or black man?
He's black.
All praises. That's very good. Well done. Good job. So Christ is a black man that King James is a family of Christ, like you and I are, and my brother here is as well. We're all family, right? So these are our great grandfathers. You know what I'm saying? This is what our true tradition, ancestors even. Thank you very much for that word. Our true tradition is to celebrate what our ancestors have given us, which is the scripture. In that scripture, we find out the commandment of God, which is what? To keep Feast of Dedication, which is coming up in the next few weeks. No Guy Fawkes night. All right. What do you have to say about that, sis? Finally, your final words on that.
Yeah, I'm literally speechless right now. I don't know what to say other than thank you, because that was very empowering. I learned a lot today.
When we look at people of this Bible, like, so let's, for example, if we think about Moses and we watched it, we know this thing. What about Jesus then?
Black man.
How do you know?
Of course he's black.
How?
Woolly hair.
Where do you read that?
I don't remember. I don't remember what part in the Bible though. But Jesus have woolly hair.
What about Mary?
A black woman.
What about Elizabeth?
I think black woman.
What about Solomon?
A black man.
What about Job?
A black man.
So, do you teach your kids all this stuff?
I do tell them that Jesus is black, not white, so get it out of their head. Yeah.
That's good, because all of the men of God, the children of God in this Bible were all black people. All of them, every single one of them. Do you understand? So once we know this thing, Daniel 7 and 9. So if the children of God are black, what does God look like?
Black.
That's right. So if God's black, read this.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool.
So he's saying the Most High's hair is wool, just like our hair, the hair of the Negroes, so-called, right? So if we are looking like the Most High God, we have to embrace that beauty. Do you understand? We have to embrace what the Bible says. And you have to just bring that into your household, show your children these, and make sure they understand this. Because if you look at our people today, look at look at the person over there with the blonde hair and the red hair. You see them? A lot of our children mimic those things. You understand? They don't embrace the wool like the Most High. And it's because of the imagery that's been painted through the movies and society. We look at Jesus in the society, in the movies, white, but as you know, black. So now you know these things, you have to push it onto your children. Do you understand? Any last thoughts from what have you learned today?
Well, I know about King James. I didn't even know that, as I said, I need to read more, get the right books to read about our black history.
Yeah, but what have you learned?
Learn about King James and
What about King James?
well, he's a black man.
You look at the YouTube, they portray him as a white person.
Right, that's what they did. But look at this image. Look at this image right here of King James, right? Look at this image. They said this image is found in the New College Library, Edinburgh, UK. Look at the hair. Wool.
Where's a black man? Come on, well, like what? I mean, look, you can see it from my auntie's glasses.
That's it.
Even Stephen Wonder can see that's a black man.
That's it. That's it. Christ bless. We're back. We was just dealing with the people in Brixton regarding the topic of Bonfire Night, or also known as Guy Fawkes Night. We came and talked to them and found out their thoughts on the actual day, if they know the origins of it. A lot of people didn't. We had a few brothers that actually did. We discussed it and we went into grave detail what it's really about.
Yes, indeed. And surprisingly, a lot of people actually knew about, this Bonfire Night, that there's a history behind it to do with, the House of Parliament being stormed, but they didn't really know the greater detail into it. And that's how we became instrumental in showing them fully what the history is about, the link to King James being a black man, all of that stuff. They didn't even know that, but we brought that to them. Some of them did, though, to be fair. There was a sister that didn't really know about that, but she got edified on that. What do you think about that, sir?
Yeah, I think it was really good, showing our people that black presence is actually in the Bible. The history behind King James and his lineage. The Dark Ages were actually when the Darks ruled. So, yeah, man, it was good. What are you saying, soldier?
Yeah, I mean, our people learnt today that, a lot of our history been changed. We showed them about King James. We showed them about Christ. we let them know that many of our images have been, painted over. So, these are all ways and tricks that the enemy use to keep us down. Let us not celebrate, things of the world like Bonfire night. Christmas is coming up. So we're just letting our people know the lies that have been told to them.
That's right, Israel. So what time is it? It's time to take back a royalty. Time to take back our images and embrace our blackness. It's cuts from the streets.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.